I'm not too worried about the exercise that I haven't been doing. Don't get me wrong, I'm very excited to get back to the barbells and pushing and pulling the sled, moving some heavy weight. I also know that I'm a dry sponge right now that's very excited to soak all that up. You know, when you have a long layoff from the weights, you almost get a little taste of being a beginner again. And when you're a beginner, when it comes to strength training, you get those beginner gains. You've never been exposed to certain stimuli before. And once you are, you build muscle and strength and coordination and skill at a rate that you never really get to build it again unless you take a layoff. It's not that you need to take a layoff, although your training does need to have peaks and valleys. There's some evidence to suggest that every couple of weeks or months, I forget what it is, I want to say it's 3 months, we should take something like 10 days off of weightlifting so that our bodies can resensitize itself to the stimulus. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. There's 2 types of clients out there. There's the one you have to speed up, and there are those that you have to slow down. You know, I know a lot of type A personalities that'll never lack for effort. But you can't just throw all the shit at the wall and expect certain things to stick either. You have to be able to fine-tune your effort. You have to look closely at what is and what isn't and do an honest self-assessment. Because it's very easy to think more work equals more results. But it's not about physical effort as you progress. It's about mental effort. It's about having discipline. It's about having focus. Because what got you from beginner to intermediate isn't what's going to get you from intermediate to advanced. Another thing I like to talk to clients about is the shit scale. There's shit, suck, good. Well, shit, suck, okay, good, and great. And to get from shit to suck, you pretty much just got to show up on a regular basis. It doesn't even matter what you do. But to get from suck to okay, you have to be a little more deliberate about your action. And to get from okay to good, you have to be even more deliberate about your action. To get from good to great, you're not allowed to fool yourself anymore. It's not just about effort, especially not just about physical effort. So, I want to get back to what I originally meant to touch on, which is that you can't really ride 2 horses with one ass. It's like you can't be a good marathon runner and weightlifter. Those 2 activities, the demands are too different, the adaptations are too different, the training's too different. You can't be very powerful and explosive and have a high level of endurance. You can be good at a lot of things, but you can't be great at a lot of things. And you know, these last couple months I've been progressing in ways that are not about fitness. They're not even about really my intelligence. It's funny, you know, I read less now than I typically do. I listen to less podcasts now than I typically do. But I've been taking more action. I've been making videos. I've been going on lots of walks and spending a ton of time with Laila. It's not all good. I've been bullshitting playing baseball on PlayStation as well. More than I'd like to admit. But there's this real depth to the relationship that I have with Laila and with Anna now. I mean, Anna and I see each other in a different light for sure. It's impressive how she works. She's busier now than she ever was before. And Laila, she's just, coming into her own, so we're able to be more social. We're able to be more friendly, fun, interactive. But even though my muscles are atrophying, there's certain parts of my brain that are developing deeper and more rich connections than I ever had before. So while I'm regressing in some ways, I'm progressing in others. And I used to think about it in terms of consumption and production when it comes to media. For a while I was doing voice recordings and I didn't really do anything with them. I would share them with friends, or they really just served as a journal that I never read again, and I kind of don't ever want to read because it's kind of embarrassing. And I don't like looking back at these videos either, to be honest with you. But it was therapeutic because I was releasing. And then I would shift into this phase where the desire was to consume. And I feel myself going there now. I've made like 8 weeks of videos and written emails 3 times a week for the last 8 weeks. And that's something that I've been meaning to do for a very long time. I didn't. We could get more into why I didn't some other time. But I did now. And even now I feel myself wanting to trend back towards consumption. I'm gonna let you go with one last thought, and it's I don't know whose idea it was, but there's some sort of prominent psychologist or philosopher from the age before the internet. And he thought that you really had to immerse yourself in your work for a prolonged period of time, just kind of drown yourself in it, and then step away from it entirely so that your subconscious mind could work on it. And that always really resonated with me, and the whole consumption production thing, and riding 2 horses with 1 ass thing. I think there's a lot to be said about feel and about listening to yourself. Anyway, that's enough for now. Say bye, Laila. We're almost home. We're almost done with our walk. See you, everybody.